Welcome to Power Word Fail, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play podcast. My name is Carlos and I am the Dungeon Master for these lovely group of heroes. But enough about me, let's get to the real stars of the pod, starting with Austin.
Ferric the Grave Singer.
Andy.
Pickles the Drunk and Truthful.
Katie.
Adalia Rowan, formerly of the Northwatch Resistance.
Nathan.
Miraz the Mercantilist. Let's spend all this gold.
And Ian.
Young Money Ambrose Buisson.
Young Moolah, baby. Anyway.
Okay.
We just got 2,000 gold, so
That's so much
More than
money.
that.
it's so much money.
And once again, my name is Carlos, and this is our first campaign, Chosen on the Crystal Crown, episode 22. And without further ado, let's find out what happens. As you all look to the center of this room, the house somewhat still and silent, as this being of energy, the form of snake, twirls out, looks at all of you, and you can see almost a devilish grin, and you hear the words whisper almost in your mind. Ooh, so juicy. I can feel the hatred. I can feel your anger. Yes.
Well, I'm really glad that you can feel it.
I sense one of you is hiding something. One of you is keeping a secret. And I will find out who. Yes. My master is very curious. My master's looking for new prey. Ooh, I can feel it. I can almost taste it. You know, I can't seem to identify which one of you's hiding something. So I think I'll just kill you all now. I will suck your souls from your bodies and feast on your delicious essence. Everyone make a wisdom saving throw.
13 for Miraz.
19.
That's a 16 for Pickles.
11, which is terrible for Adalia.
20 for Ferric.
Nice.
Everyone besides Ferric, you feel your body grow numb and limp as you hobble to the ground. It's almost as if your time has stand still. You see as your bodies hit the floor. Some of you are drunk and now you're fully sober in this horrible realization, almost like you're on a roller coaster and you are descending. The inertia overwhelms your stomach, and as you see this creature just move from the sword, almost like it's sauntering over, Spunk moves forward. And like so many times before, so many times where he has talked, and in the silliness and in the serious moments, Spunk's truth, Ferric, rings in your heart and in your mind what it means to be a hero. And as Spunk moves forward, the creature's eyes glare and boils up as if it's discovering an untold truth, an untold secret. You see in its face, its mind almost exacerbates with fear as Spunk holds up his hands, and you all see Spunk illuminate with pure light and pure energy. And Ferric, you almost see at the corner of your eye as it blinds you you almost think you see Spunk smile, a pure smile, knowing that this is what it means to be a hero. As you all gain your senses and you gain your abilities to move, you feel sore. Ferric, you're unblinded, and you just see Spunk's body.
Spunk, no. And Ferric's arms reach down, and large, talonous paws gently lift up the body of his dearest friend. There's a deeply familiar stiffness and a recognizable cold. As they are holding him abreast, tears start to patter down on red skin. Ferric stands with Spunk, turns and leaves the building, runs out to their tent. Their eyes look back, and they meet Ambrose's eyes, and then Adalia's, Miraz, and then down to Pickles. Cure halum, gar, je sais faire el contre death hazak febur. Heavy dragging footsteps haunt the front of the farmhouse as Ferric walks towards their tent, pulling open a canvas flap, Spunk's corpse cradled in one arm, and pulling out a small black backpack from their things. It jingles with glass vials in its pockets and charms stitched into its fabric. The song of welcome continues, with one arm bracing Spunk's body. They retrieve 4 things out of the backpack. A wadded up white fabric that looks heavy and full, a set of oils, incense, and a small ceremonial axe. They continue to cry, to sing, to dirge, chest heaving with swollen sobs. Ferric sits down with Spunk, laying the body out with his head nested in their lap. They toss the sheathed axe up to Ambrose, interrupting their song. Firewood, birch only.
Right away.
Single tree, if you can. He needs to be burned.
Of course. And I run and look for the closest one.
Easily find.
Ferric takes the oils and dresses their arms with them, as they have before, and smears some across Spunk's forehead, mixing with the tears, blooming with the scent of rosemary, of elderflower, of warm, earthy spice. Ferric then takes the incense and lines Spunk's pockets with it. Their arms stretch and grab the white cloth, unfolding it to reveal a chainmail coif that they were working on for the anniversary of their meeting. A small sob retches out as they place the coif over Spunk's head and swaddles the body in the white cloth. Cure halum zorla, cure halum zorla. Ferric Shazal kilm mitrabuk. Welcome Zorla, welcome Zorla. The lost sings the loves of earth than sleep. And Ferric is sobbing as a talon slices into Spunk's hand, letting the cold blood leak. Ferric takes the blood between their hands, pressing it to their face, where it is mixed with fresh tears, small streaks of maroon dripping through the feathers in the fur. They then take the holy symbol from Spunk's neck and drape it over their antlers, with the other charms, with the other trinkets, mementos of those who they have lost, celebrations of lives lived, always chiming, a halo of memories. Once Ambrose gets back, Ferric starts to build a bed out of the birch, arranging it into a subtle throne, and they turn to Adalia with the sullen, blood-streaked eyes. May you contribute your spark of flame to a fallen hero.
Yes, of course I can. Adalia and Katie are crying, so give me a second to pull myself together here. Adalia is going to walk up to the pyre and kind of humming along with Ferric's song. She doesn't know the words. She's never, had much experience with religion at all before she met Spunk. And she starts casting druidcraft around the pyre so that forget-me-nots bloom up out of the ground. Are you ready, Ferric?
Ferric bows deep and low, tears staining the soil beneath their feet. I am ready. He is ready.
I hope you are back with them, Spunk. And Adalia will put a hand out, and flame just shoots down her entire arm. Unlike a lot of her powers, this just seems to be part of who she is. And she sets her hand on the pyre and lets the flame take hold. And then she'll step back and take Ferrick's hand, if they'll let her.
They clasp your hand tightly, and it is warm and wet. And as the ashes and hot sparks leap into the air, Ferrick shudders of fear, of resentment, of loss, of guilt, of mourning. And they stay, watching the fire consume Spunk, melting away flesh, leaving but ash and a chainmail coif.
Shouldn't we commit him to the water? Isn't that what he'd want?
We will spread his ashes there.
All right. Where's Spunkles? How's he doing?
Spunkles is with Pickles in her arms, curled like a cat, deep eyes focused on the pyre.
What was that?
I don't know. Have any of you ever seen anything like that before?
No.
It took him so quickly,
We couldn't do anything.
He was already in Zorla's domain, not a thing that I could do.
I put my hand on Ferrick's back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think as the fire starts to die down and there's only ash left, Ferrick would retrieve the same black funerary backpack and pull out a large silver cylinder that is ornately carved with other kiln like me across its surface, and unscrew the cap and scoop Spunk's ashes into it.
Is there a place he'd want the ashes spread, or the watering hole here? He was peaceful this evening when he was in it.
I would be inclined for the ocean, but I have a sense that he would not want to see that place again. Too many bad memories.
All right. Now?
When the time is right,
All right.
I will shed some here at the watering hole. A place of peace, a place of fine memories for a fine friend.
All right.
Ferrick is going to reach out one hand and cusp the back of Adalia's head and bow, pressing their foreheads together.
Do you think he's at peace now?
Well, if I know him, he's no longer gonna have those nightmares.
Do you know what he said to me tonight at the watering hole?
Ferrick's just going to look at you blankly.
He said that he liked you and that you didn't deserve to die. And he asked me to keep you safe. And then I told him I would keep him safe so that he could protect you. I told him I'd never lied to him before. Isn't that silly?
Ferrick's going to scoop you up in their arms and hug you tight.
Okay. All right. We can't stand out here all night, everyone. We should sleep.
Carlos, did the sword disappear or is it still on the ground?
The sword itself is on the ground still. Yes.
Okay. This whole time, Pickles has probably been standing, like, next to the sword, just looking at it, pissed off. Not outside, not with anybody else, just standing there looking at that sword. And as everybody starts to slowly come back, she's still just gonna be there. She'll just be like, what do we do with it?
No one touch it.
We can't just leave it here.
We should bury it.
I'm going to reach into my pocket, pull out my bag of holding and kind of finesse the bag to scoop it up.
I don't want that thing with us.
Roz, where are you right now?
I silently observed the entire funerary ritual, so I was with Adolia and Ferric, though I was not partaking in conversation. But when we turned to the discussion of the sword, I would say, Adolia, I obviously have a bad feeling about this sword.
Yes.
But I fear that if we just leave it, even if we just bury it, it could cause more harm. It could fall into the wrong hands. Keep your enemies closer, you know.
Fine. Whatever.
When we reach Mondstadt, we can find someone to cleanse it.
Spunk could have cleansed it.
It said it sensed somebody with a secret. So, at this point, it's probably any one of us, but that's something that, we gotta consider at this point. It got called out because one of us.
It was probably me. I have told all of you except for you, Adolia, that I truly could not cast magic, that I was not a real wizard, which was
Roz,
true.
It's just a cursed sword. I don't think it has to do with anyone. I think we were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm gonna go in Marcus's room and search every document that has anything about this sword in his room.
Okay. Make an investigation check for me.
18.
As Spunk's funeral progresses and you all take your moments of weeping and grief, Christopher has not said anything. He has not tried to input anything towards you. But as you go into the house, Christopher walks up and he holds out his hand and he creates these beautiful bushel of berries. And he says, Mr. Spunk did it. Mr. Spunk, I don't know what happened.
I reach and hug Christopher.
What? Christopher starts crying. Why does everyone I love keep dying?
You'll be really proud of you. You're incredible, Christopher. Really incredible. And I let go.
I'm sorry. I feel like it's my fault. I don't even know what happened. I wasn't paying attention.
Christopher, how can it be your fault?
I feel like everything's my fault. I will be a hero.
You already are. And I walk inside.
Christopher doesn't say anything after that, but stands and tears fall from his face. Ambrose, you search top to bottom with an 18. You find within that secret compartment that was found near the bed a rich red leather-bound seemingly journal, and you pour through this journal and in detail it goes over the grief that Marcus had. You go over and you read of the continual theme throughout the journal is that of loss and sorrow that turns more and more into hatred, anger, bitterness. And then you do find at one point a merchant came along and he details the buying of the coin, the buying of the sword.
Is your description of the merchant, and is it Zanzibar?
Ooh.
There is a description of the merchant. You also note that there is a portion where it seems as though this merchant was trying to get Marcus to take a certain box. In the description of the merchant is very much what you remember the description of the man you shot.
Should have killed that man. I close the journal and I walk out of the room and head back to the group.
Miraz would approach Ferric. Ferric, are you still out and about, or have you withdrawn?
Ferric would still be taking care of Spunk's things, wrapping up their tent, tending to their belongings.
Okay, so Miraz would come up and put his hand on Ferric's shoulder and say, Ferric, very bad at words in these situations, but Spunk was very kind to me. I can only imagine what you're feeling now, and I'm sorry.
Mourning comes when it is necessary. It will only last as long as it takes to live a life.
Miraz nods, squeezes their shoulder again, and withdraws.
Thank you, Miraz.
Miraz will just stop and give a nod and back away again.
Ferric turns back and rolls up the rest of Spunk's tent and their belongings and takes it over to the wagon.
Are we sleeping in the house? Or...
Not anymore.
That's fair.
I say we travel like an hour, put up camp, get away from this place. I don't want to sleep here.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
We should stop by the watering hole then.
We should burn the house.
Do you think Spunk would have wanted that? He didn't really care for destruction.
This guy was not good. Who knows what other shit is in this house? Do you want some child to come along, play in this empty house, touch something, have the same thing happen to them? This place needs to come down.
Can I make an Arcana check to know if a fire would even burn magical objects in the house?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make that Arcana check.
That's a crit.
Nice.
You would know that it would depend heavily on the magic item, but most magical items would be consumed in fire.
With all respect to the dearly departed, Spunk is dead. It does not matter what he would have wanted.
All right.
Ferric, what would you want?
I'm tired. I would like to leave. Whatever you do with the house, I would like to stay far away from. If you don't remember, I have an issue with fire.
Yes.
And Ferric is going to, gesture with their arms, showing off their scars a little bit.
Would you like to go to the watering hole and have a few minutes alone? We can take care of the house.
Ferric will nod.
Adalia already has fire crackling in both hands.
Hey, Miraz, you know that thing we just found?
Yes, I do, Pickles.
Can I have that real
Yes,
quick?
you may, Pickles. I'll flip it over to her, the stone with the rune on it.
Everybody should get out of the house.
Now.
Oh, wait. Ferric, do you want to go away for this?
Ferric hops on the horse and starts riding away. And if nobody minds, we're watching Ferric ride towards us, and the farmhouse blooms into massive flame behind them. Tears still pouring down their cheeks, with a silver canister around their neck.
Fires burn as this home, which imaginably had so much love at one point, is consumed with the flames of hatred and grief. The house crumbles after a time, the flames brought by forth your party, too strong, and as the flames crumble even to smoldering, you leave. Eventually you catch up with Ferric, and you continue your adventure.
I would like to say that Adalia kneels down by the pool where she had her last conversation with Spunk and where his ashes are now spread. And she's going to pull out a vial from her bag and take some of that water with her as her own token.
Is there any conversation that happens between the next hour before you make camp?
Silence.
I think we all ride in silence for the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
You ride. As the night continues, you hear the soft sobs of Christopher now and then. Eventually you find a place where it seems to be a good place to make camp. Trees and whatnot line a small little, almost like a little nook, as if people have stayed here before. How do you make camp?
Ambrose, could you get wood for the fire?
I nod, and I go out to get wood.
I'll just set out my case and go through dewiring my robe, making no secret of the very non-magical gimmicks that I've been using.
Hey, Ferric, you gonna stay in a tree again?
Ferric nods.
Mind if I join?
Ferric drops to all fours and crawls over to you, lowering their back.
Pickles gives a little giggle and just looks at Ferric and goes, "Permission to scoop?"
Permission granted.
and Pickles will activate her giant's might and actually scoop Ferric.
Oh shit.
And just like give him a big hug because she's pretty convinced he's probably never had somebody bigger than them give them a hug.
Yeah.
And then walk over and find a tree and like just put Ferric in it. And then poof, right back down to small.
Ferric scampers with their talons and claws up into a comfortable position up in the tree and leans up against a branch, and their fingers gently tracing the silver canister. Good night, Spock.
Once Ambrose gets a fire set up, Miraz would just sit next to it and let himself become mesmerized by the flames, and he would start casting prestidigitation, just snapping and sending little flecks of gunpowder that's been like packaged up into the flames, manipulating it to cause kind of firework sparks in the shape of a frog head.
Is Spunkles with you, Pickles?
Probably.
Oh, for sure.
I have a feeling Spunkles is not going away from Pickles for a bit here.
Okay. Then Adalia will comfort Christopher. She'll sit down next to him, make him tea, kind of keep humming the song that Ferric sang at the funeral. And eventually, when Christopher goes to sleep, she'll stay close to him because she's so warm. And she knows that comforts people. And she'll eventually fall asleep holding in her fist that vial of water from the pool by the farm.
I'm going to stay up, as I feel like everyone else is probably extremely exhausted from a hellish day, and probably just chill with Miraz until he falls asleep.
Pickles is in the tree.
Cool. And when everyone falls asleep, I'm leaving.
Ambrose!
Yes. I'm going for some distance far away. I'm casting silence on the ground, ritually casting it. I'm completely invisible, throwing that sword on the ground and casting Identify on it.
Okay. There is no response. It's just a sword. It seems as though whatever wicked thing was in this sword has been expunged, evaporated. You find no trace of any harmful, maleficent being. It's as if the light has cleansed the sword.
Is there any runes or language on the sword?
There is nothing on the sword. The sword has been completely wiped clean.
I put it back in the bag of holding, throw it over my back, and head back to the group.
As you head back, do you all sleep or do you stay up?
I'll stay up.
Miraz is
Everyone
asleep.
else is asleep.
Yeah.
Mars is asleep.
I think Ferric would take watch. Ferric would take watch at some point.
Are you sure, Ferric? I got it.
We cannot both be exhausted in the morning. We still have to deal with more instead. That's going to be an exhausting thing. And given that you are our point of contact, I would like you as fresh as an elderberry.
If you need anything, Ferric, I got your back, alright? And thanks for all your help. And I throw over my hood and go completely invisible.
I hate when he does that.
Anything else before the day begins?
Mirage just wires himself up for the day as we're breaking camp.
As you sleep, Dahlia,
Yes.
the dream is strange. You feel yourself weightless, lightless. As you float, it's almost like you're floating in water. Eventually you hit the bottom of an unknown ocean or unknown pool, and you look around, you breathe easily. It's complete darkness. You could see yourself. You almost somewhat glow, and as you wonder what is happening, a small ball of light comes down, moving, swaying, shimmers with this piercing light that you've never seen before. It comes down, it circles around you. It's almost bobbing like a cat inspecting something it has not seen before. And eventually, hear a soft whisper, "Hello?
Hello. Are you Spunk's light bulb?
Spunk, yes. We were friends. He has been here before. What has happened to Spunk?"
The same thing that happens to everyone. He died a hero's death. Is that a comfort to you?
Oh, that is sad. But if you are here, that means the work is not yet done.
I have a great deal of work already. What do you need?
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but if Spunk is gone and you are here, that means he has selected you. I do not understand. But there is little time.
All right.
I will tell you the same thing I told him. In your world, you must search. Search for the Rock of Bristol.
Where will I find it?
I do not know. It will come to you, I'm sure. But be open. We are now connected, you and I. I'm not sure how, but now it has passed to you.
From Spunk?
Maybe so. I do not know, nor can I be sure.
Then I will bear it gladly. He was the hero, you know. The first one I think I ever met.
And now the hero's light is in you. Use it well.
I'll try. Not as well as he did, I'm sure.
If you say so. And the ball of light will then float to the top, and you will jolt from your sleep when the morning hits.
Hey y'all, this is Austin, and I wanted to pop in here and say that this episode is sponsored by our friends over at Incarnate. As a fellow dungeon master, I know how stressful it can be to make maps in a short amount of time. But with the powerful tools over at Incarnate, you can make immersive maps without spending weeks locked in your room. Carlos uses Incarnate for Power Word Fail, and it's easy, affordable, convenient, and the maps will look absolutely amazing. Y'all, they're lush. Go check them out. They even have a free version. So head over to Incarnate and start making beautiful maps today. Again, that's Incarnate with a K, incarnate.com. Now, back to the story.
So it is morning. You have broken camp.
Ferric crawls down from the tree with their robes kind of wrapped around their hips and gets close to what was left of the campfire last night. I imagine the embers are still hot, and starts to rekindle the fire a little bit, putting a pot of coffee on for everyone.
How far are we from Mornstead now?
Less than a day's ride, so you'll be there by the afternoon, surely.
Everyone get together, right now.
Oh, shit! Shit! Pickles falls out of the tree.
You okay, Pickles?
What?
All right.
What the?
Here we go.
Ambrose, what the?
You're a heavy sleeper, I'm sorry, Pickles.
What is it?
I pull out the journal, and I put it out in front of everyone.
Wait, why do we gotta wake up for a book?
We need to talk about Spunkles.
We need to talk about Spunkles.
That same sword.
We are not
Let's
talking
give
about
it-
Spunkles. Spunkles all I have left right now.
Can I speak? That same sword that we got from that guy that gave us the egg, it's from the same person. Same details, same characteristics.
The sword and Spunkles were from the same person.
Yes. And I give out the journal to everyone.
Laminated copies, highlighted.
Yeah, actually,
I like it.
I use my
Like-
artificer infusion to make copies of.
Front and back, front and back.
Look
Yes.
on page
Yeah.
3, word.
Yeah. And the font is size 15, so you guys can read. I know it's hard for some of you guys.
Hey.
Adalia burns it up in her hands.
So-
No, I'm kidding.
Well, it's fireproof, it's laminated. So,
I put my hand on Pickles' shoulder,
So?
just like massaging it. It's okay, Pickles.
I think it's fair to have a conversation. I'm not providing an answer.
Do you think, then, that Spunkles is to blame for the actions or intentions of the person who owned him before?
To tell you the truth, I don't have an answer. I just know that someone bad is peddling perhaps just bad things.
Perhaps what they are peddling is dreams. Are we sure we are not beset by a trickster god who gives us exactly what we want?
The journal says that the merchant gave Marcus a coin. That was what he used to attempt, I think, to get his powers, right? That he tried to use to rescue his wife.
Well, there was a medallion out of character in those chests that we got. I was assuming it was that.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to identify that as well when we get a chance.
I thought it was the coin that we found on the sacrificial bowl thing.
Yeah, I mean, Ferric's wearing it already. So
Yeah.
you
So
by all
Ferric,
means
can I,
identify it.
Can I please take that off as soon as possible?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna identify that.
Okay, it is a necklace. It is a beautiful, crafted,
Just a necklace?
just a necklace.
Just a beautiful necklace. Here you go. I toss it back to Varric.
Ferric throws it back on.
Now, my immediate concern for Spunkles, Pickles, is that the city of Mornstead will not take kindly to us walking with a dragon. We need to be very certain that we can keep Spunkles out of detection.
No,
He's like his father. He's not going to listen to me.
that is not the problem with the conversation.
Spunkles will stand on its hind legs, kind of like in a sassy position, as if no one's being talked about. And then he'll flick his forked tongue out, and as he flicks his tongue, it retracts, and Spunkles will change appearance to that of a white weasel, the same size. White weasel with brown-tipped ears and a brown-tipped nose.
Great, all our problems are solved.
You're so smart. So proud of you.
Are you guys even listening to me?
No,
Come on, correlation?
you just turned into a fuzzy weasel.
does not equal causation. Isn't that what they say?
I don't know if someone is peddling dangerous things and making dreams come true and giving it to Marcus that can kill someone instantaneously.
Well, maybe he was like you, and he just thought it was dangerous, which is why he was peddling it. He doesn't know that it's dangerous.
I just look at Pickles, like death glare at her. Pickles,
Pickles is not looking back. Pickles is petting the weasel.
are you actually stupid?
Oh,
Okay, Ambrose, let's take it down a notch.
No, I am literally, I don't get it. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but this is actually a problem. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. I've been riding along with you guys like everything's been fine, but the dragon was a problem, but I was like, okay, this is fine. But now we got to the point where we're like, okay, now we have an arms dealer that is bringing upon even worse things. Does that just sound a little weird to any of you guys?
It does sound a little weird.
has anything happened to us that wasn't a little weird? I don't know about you, but everything I have ever experienced has been a little weird.
I would also caution you all, last time we got into this kind of predicament, we had people walk off and people get hurt. So, I suggest we sit the fuck down and talk about this without heightened emotions and with attentive ears.
Miraz rubs the back of his neck where Ferric pricked him.
I'm sorry, Pickles.
Can I say something? Christopher will say.
Yes.
Please, yes.
Stop asking.
You just did.
Ferric. Yes, Christopher.
So, I think we should focus on the facts, right? That makes sense. The fact is that Mr. Spunk is dead. Spunk is gone. And the reality is that this sword, this coin, they could be connected with the Spunkles, but reality, it cannot be connected. In fact, we don't know the full circumstance of Marcus and the coin. Maybe Spunkles wasn't useful, or maybe Spunkles was obviously having a dragon egg is a problem, but the realities we face right now is that we're about to go into a large city. Spunkles, I feel, would have done something already if is Spunkles a girl or a boy? I forget.
Spunkles it's non-determined.
Spunkles will tell us in their own time.
Yep.
Okay, if they were a problem, I feel like we've had so many prime times to kill us. And I understand, Ambrose, your concerns, and I understand your fears, but right now we need to focus on more important things, and I get it. Like, dragon, right? But Spunkles has done nothing but be kind, and done nothing to warrant such behavior besides exist.
While Christopher is talking, my eyes are just up in the air, just like trying to listen to this conversation, and just like every time he makes an argument, I'm counter-arguing, but with my eyes, just that whole entire time.
Christopher, I do think you raised some good points, but I don't believe that Spunkles could kill us all yet. Spunkles is tiny.
He's ferocious.
That's not to say Spunkles won't eventually become both ferocious and enormous.
Well,
I also do believe that it took many years for the coin and the sword to consume Marcus. It may take many years of slow pain for us as well.
Well, then that's something we can worry about tomorrow, right?
I take the journal and see if it's dated. The day that he gets his medallion and the sword, what is the date on that, on his journal? Versus like the date now.
he didn't date it.
Who writes a journal does not date?
Marcus, you scrub.
Literally
The
cannot
church
stand this
nerd
man.
is like
Everything
so
about this
upset
man.
right now.
Everything
The
about this man
archives.
sucks.
His archiving
fair,
system is atrocious.
I do not date when I journal, so
Ugh.
Wow.
I always date my
You
journal.
need to date it. You gotta see the difference of your life and changes, man.
The
You can't be
real monster is Carlos, it turns out.
Well, okay, if it does take years of pain and suffering for us to deal with Spunkles, then this is a conversation we can have after Mondstadt.
Certainly.
It's been completely pain and suffering for the last month, guys. I can't even comprehend.
And that didn't start with Spunkles. It started with meeting you. And Pickles is gonna walk off.
I mean,
Valid.
you do kind of
Just
deserve
start
that one,
heading
Ambrose.
Yeah.
towards
I'm like, you know what? I do deserve it. But still, the argument is still there.
Ambrose.
We can't have Spunkles.
Just middle fingers up in the air, walking away.
Spunkles was something Spunk loved. We have to trust that he placed his love in worthy places. Let them have him for a while. Can't this wait?
Idalia, if I wanted to manipulate you, and if I was some evil being, this would be the perfect opportunity to have a baby dragon be protected by, like, very valid, I would say, great fighters that can take on a whole dragon by ourselves. This is the perfect party to have a baby dragon, to nurture and take care. And then when we're older, it just goes off.
Based on how this conversation has gone just this time, let alone the ones we've had before, do you truly think you are going to accomplish anything by raising this issue right now while everyone is consumed with grief and missing Spunk? Or is this
Idalia,
just
I
going
know.
to drive more division?
This has nothing to do about division. This has to be about protection.
You are not going to win this fight, Ambrose. Haven't we lost enough fights for one day?
So we just keep walking with it then?
For now.
Like, there's no proactiveness?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't
Like,
think
you
can
think I
win
like
it.
hurting Pickle's feelings and like breaking all this bad news just when what happened to Spunk? Like literally the moment after? It hasn't even been 12 hours.
Ferrick's going to stomp over to Ambrose and pull Ambrose's sword out of his own sheath and grab his
Oh, dear.
arm and put the sword in Ambrose's arm.
Ferric.
Are you willing to do this right now?
Miraz's hand is inside his sleeve.
I'm only trying to save us.
How do you propose you do that?
I wasn't going to propose anything. I wanted to talk to you guys. And none of you want to talk.
I want to talk. I'm actually on your side, but I'm wondering, are you going to kill Spunkles right now, or are you going to do it later?
I don't want to kill Spunkles. I am going to
Okay.
ask you guys, what do you want to do about the situation? At no point did I propose killing Spunkles. I know Spunkles is very important to Pickles. So there's so many other options than killing.
What are they?
I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me.
don't
That's what I'm
have
asking.
argument.
I am asking what to do with this dragon.
listen, Christopher will speak up. Reality is that we don't need to be saved. We just need to keep pushing on. Mr. Spunk saved us from whatever the hell that thing was. And practical solution, in Mornstead there are places where they deal in magic, in draconic history. I'm sure if we really want to get rid of Spunkles, and if Pickles would allow that, we could find someone at least knows what Spunkles is, or
They will slaughter Spunkles if they find it. In
he looks
Mornstead.
like a weasel.
They will be able to detect that it's a dragon. Mondstadt has mages.
I can't describe if you have a worse time to be a dragon when a red dragon appears. Literally within a month.
Right.
I could make it look like a dead weasel for an hour or so.
The issue is the magical disguise. There will be mages that can see through magical disguises.
It's not about sneaking in Spunkles. It's about what to do with the whole situation that we know of this other dealer. That is what I'm worried about.
But can I also just say that I believe someone tried to detect magic from the egg and couldn't find any magic. Isn't it possible that Spunkles can just hide his magical abilities?
Yes, but not as a weasel. Like, that requires magic to do that. So casting Detect Magic would reveal that he's under the effect of, or that it's under the effect of some spell. Are you all good?
You can.
Ferric, are you going to not kill Ambrose right now? Because we can't do this.
To clarify, I took Ambrose's sword and put it in Ambrose's hand. Like,
Yes.
if you're gonna do it, do it.
I never wanted to kill Spunkles, just as.
Yeah.
All right, well, fine. You all figure this out then, and Miraz is going to go after Pickles.
She's not
Wonderful
too far away.
conversation, guys.
She's like just within earshot, just sitting like trying to teach Weasel Spunkles how to do flips.
Like I said.
Democracy. Anyway.
This is democracy manifest.
Adalia is going to go get the horse, and jump up on horse, and then ride over to Ferric. Ferric, are you coming?
Where are we going?
To Mornstead. I think this conversation is over.
Ferric's going to take your hand and fling themselves up behind you on the saddle and put their hands around your waist.
Come on, Ambrose. Well, there's things to be done, and this conversation is going nowhere.
I get on the horse.
On your horse, right? Not our horse.
I'll get on your guys'
Three
horse.
squished together on one horse.
We're not all squished on horse to horse.
Christopher
No,
gets
I'm
on
going
behind
on horse.
Ambrose.
That's a really
We're having
weird
this
way to
intensely
end this
awkward
conversation.
Horse starts
No,
sobbing in pain.
Rats, what are they doing?
No, I get on my own horse.
Okay.
Miraz will sit down next to Pickles. You okay?
No.
Yeah, that was a dumb question. I wouldn't expect you to be. Is Pickles okay?
Thanks for calling me
Spunkles?
dumb again. Pickles is just gonna
I just put my face in my hands.
and be like, let's just go, Miraz.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
called dumb twice today.
That was not my intent, Okay, let's go.
She's gonna laugh and just like look at Miraz and just like give a wink and just like walk away. And
Miraz will
I just like
laugh
fuck with you.
/ cry and follow. Yeah.
Yeah, I really gotta watch your language. You're really bad at this.
I know. I am verbose and loquacious, and I don't know what to say and when to say it.
I don't know what that word means.
I'm not sure I do either. That's part of my problem.
You know, that's fair. Will you help me make sure that Ambrose doesn't try to like stab me or Spunkles in my sleep?
Yes, no one's stopping anyone.
I don't believe that.
Yes. Yes.
Spunkles will growl in
I
anger.
will watch you both. I look down
Yeah,
at
good
Spunkles.
Spunkles.
Are you okay, little guy?
Peace. Peace.
We sure need peace. That's right. Very, very cautiously, I will reach down and try to scratch Weasel Spunkles' little ears, and then immediately pull my hand away as soon as I touch it, because it's a dragon, but it looks like a weasel.
Miraz, he is very friendly.
And then eventually I'll pet it.
As you pet Spunkles, his eyes glow, just like with sheen. Nothing like magical, just like he seems to glow. And you just hear softly as like the glow and the gleam becomes one single dragon tear.
Aww.
Spunk. And that's where we'll end the session.
Why would you do that? You know that I'm very emotional.
Y'all are making it so hard for me.
I'm sorry. I'm fine.
Oh, well, you know, we're really just trying to hold on together here. But thanks so much, everyone, for listening to this episode of Power Word Fail. If you like what you hear, you can go ahead and you can find us on social media. We are going to be having a great time here and we are going to be together in Discord, which you should go check us out. Also Twitter and Facebook as well. And then I would say as well is if you can, and you love what we're doing here and love our characters, and you would love to support us, go on to the Homebrew Patreon, where you could go ahead and just show us whatever support you can. We really appreciate that, and we love you all who are listening. And I will take a selfish moment here, and I will shout out to my friend Seth, listener. My friend Seth was diagnosed with stage 2 colon cancer, and he's got a really good attitude about it. And I know he's not the only person who has struggles. Listener, you too might be going through something similar, or you might know someone in your life who is dealing with sickness or depression or anything like that, listener. And I just want you to know you're loved, you're important, and you matter. That means you too, Seth. Join us next time on Power Word Fail. See you next week. Goodbye.